Climate change impact on agriculture is no longer a myth, but actually a reality. Prolonged dry seasons are now a common phenomenon in Africa. We have then to boost agricultural productivity in the face of these challenges. And this calls for concerted effort in mobilizing new and additional financing. But we have to do it better than what we have done in the past. We must put in place innovative partnerships among development institutions. For example, in the form of pooling of resources to address the issues of adaptation and mitigation against the effects of climate change. The African Development Bank is already exploring this option. We are making efforts to leverage additional climate-related resources. I can mention, for instance, the climate investment funds and the global environmental facilities, and of course our own instruments such as the Africa Water Facility, the Congo Basin Fund, and a number of others. Inequality, especially along gender lines, is an unacceptable reality. To tackle this issue, the African Development Bank designed a new gender strategy through which we aim to make productive assets more readily available to women, especially focusing on issues of accessibility to land, credit, finance, but also other forms of productive assets. The whole issue of land titles continue to undermine women's ability to actually contribute meaningfully to agricultural production. The African Development Bank is promoting a good adaptation practice to make farmers better equipped to deal with the impacts of climate change. We are placing a lot of emphasis on climate-smart agriculture. We seek to increase sustainable productivity. But then in the process, you build and increase the farmers' resilience and capacity to sustain negative impacts of climate change. You try to do that while reducing agricultural greenhouse gas emissions and increase carbon sequestration. The African Development Bank believes that this is the way forward to strengthen food security and deliver environmental benefits. Making food available in the right quantity, in the right quality, in the right places. And then where food is not available, at least the people should be able to should be able to afford to purchase food to sustain themselves. So you can address the issue from so many different angles, and I'm sure some of the economists may disagree with us. But when you look at it in practical terms on the ground, this is really what it means. And we've been trying to link this whole issue of food security and prepare African farmers to deal with the impacts of climate change as they get stronger. We've supported a major research initiative working with both national, regional, and international institutions to develop what we call future crop development systems of the future, mainly in four commodity crops: maize, rice, wheat, and cassava. And we hope that eventually we will have some varieties that would be able to sustain a much more aggressive or severe climate events, that in a manner that would not significantly affect the capacity of the farmers to produce food. Agriculture is the biggest sector worst hit by the effects of climate change, more so in Africa. Agriculture requires then full recognition and attention as we develop solutions to deal with impacts of climate change. We are advocating for a climate change funding architecture which gives a prominent role for the agriculture. The goal is to really bolster development of a more adaptable and climate resilient agriculture sector in Africa.